All right, this is it. The very, 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 very last show of 2024. The plane is off the ground. We're talking about memorable moments today. A banner year for hybrids and a Fiat lease for precisely $0.
Zero. Zip. None. Zero.
So
That's
get
crazy.
this. So we have a document, and every morning a variety, a smattering of us on the Isoto crew get together to put together the show every day. It's Nathan, it's myself, it's Kyle. Primarily, we're the three that do it, with Nathan running point on this. Now, we have this document, and the document gets grows throughout the year. It is currently 357 pages of just show notes. That's just outline. It's 136,000 words on the show notes doc. So I can't even imagine how many words we've said in the morning show.
That kind of creeps me out a little bit. Like, you
millions.
think about the number of words that you have to say in a given year, and we're like, we try and accomplish that in a morning is our goal, actually.
Yeah, I think was it Mr. Beast that he kind of counted to 1 million, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
You know what's crazy? You can't actually count to 1 billion in your lifetime.
Right. You can count to 1 million, but you can't do that 1,000 times.
Right. It's crazy.
That is crazy because, I guess from us speaking, we can speak words a lot faster than we can count.
Right.
Right? Because there's
1,536,438.
A lot of words.
That's a lot of words to say. That takes at least 3 seconds. You calculate that over a lifetime. Hey, look, we've done a lot this year. It has been pretty crazy. We're going to walk through some of the memorable moments because it has been quite a wild year for us as the Isoto More Than Cars team, but also more broadly for the industry. I'm excited for 2025. Early in 2025, we got NADA show coming up.
And some more memories, kicking it off early.
So many memories. I think we've got like over 25 parties listed on NADAparties.com right now. So if you're trying to plan out
right now, just bookmark it right now, because you're gonna be like, what was that site? NADAparties.com. Yeah, that's how you're gonna figure out what you're doing.
And Clairvoy and my buddy Jeff Running, who is like the master of finding all of the parties.
Ceremonies.
We're finding all of the parties on NADA parties. So you can go there, plan out your whole schedule with the team, figure out where you're going to go on the after hours, and have some fun down there in Nollins.
Yes. Very good. Very good. Nollins. We're going to have, make sure that you sign up for the Isoto party on NADAparties.com. Now, granted, we're almost out of space, but there is a wait list. We are confirming attendance. So if you're already signed up, know that you will be getting an attendance confirmation, either a phone call or an email. And if you don't confirm, you're going to be taken off the list, and we're going to give it to the next person on the wait list. So make sure you get on the wait list. We're going to do some lottery tickets at the end too. What's the worst that can happen? Like you go to a different party, but the best that can happen is you get to hang out with us and all the people that are going to be there. We have some special edition swag that we're giving out to the people who are just at the party. But, if you're at NADA, we're going to have other stuff for you as well.
Yeah.
Boy, that's only 3 weeks away.
Wait,
it's Wednesday. So it's literally 3 weeks away from today. We're wheels up. Is that how that works?
It is Tuesday, but,
It's tomorrow doesn't count. It's January 1st.
3 weeks in a day,
So we're wheels up. We're wheels up 3 weeks from tomorrow.
Wow.
Too soon.
That's too soon.
Too soon.
It comes so fast.
Are we really ready for 2025? The last week's put me in this like contemplative, chill mode.
Right.
And now it's going to be like, oh, no. You're going to like, when you walk out the door and like it's raining and the wind's blowing, like back to it.
Yep.
In all the best ways. All right, let's talk about some news.
Let's get into it.
Couple last stories of the year. Hybrid electric gas cars had a better year in 2024, achieving record sales. We're going to talk about the top 10 best-selling cars this year. Most popular cars. So, obviously, hybrids, big talk of the year. So we're going to talk about, here, let's just give you the list and we'll talk through them. Number 1. Oh, we're going to count it down. Actually, Nathan has these in top 10. That's what we should do.
Perfect.
Right? David Letterman style, if we had a drum roll and all that stuff. So here we go. Number 10, Chevy Equinox. Number 9, Honda Civic. Followed by the Nissan Rogue. Toyota Camry at number 7. Corolla at number 6. Tesla Model Y, which is the only true EV on the list.
Wow.
Came in at number 5. And then we get to the not surprising ones. Number 4, Chevy Silverado 1500. Number 3, Honda CR-V, being beat out by Toyota RAV4 at number 2. And the number 1 best-selling vehicle for 47 years straight.
Unbelievable.
With we'll say 20% of the buyers opting for the hybrid version is the Ford F-150. So again, top 5 from the top down: F-150, RAV4, CRV, Silverado 1500, and the Tesla Model Y.
Well,
Sounds like America to me.
We love our trucks and our crossovers here in America.
And our grocery getters.
Right, and our grocery
Tesla
getters.
Model Ys.
With that Tesla Model Y coming in, Toyota taking 3 spots as normal. The surprising one for me is the Chevy Equinox jumping in there at 10. Like, that one kind of blew my mind. I got the Civic, I got the Rogue.
It's a pretty nice vehicle, and it's an affordable price point.
It is
for what you get, which is why it's there. Yeah.
Yep. So, I mean, obviously, hybrids, electric vehicles kind of climbing up there, and more people opting for hybrid versions of some of the top ones. Obviously, Toyota basically getting hybrids in the majority of their vehicle lineup at this point. I think that we're going to continue to see more and more of that over the next year. I think you're going to see some new entrants into this top 10 list because of hybrid capacity, or maybe Tesla, or maybe a new EV coming in.
Man, I can't see it. I can't see a new EV crack in the top 10.
I don't know,
but you never know. Somebody, you got this old Toyota Nissan.
Hyundai's trying
Nissan
to do a thing out here.
Hyundai, you know what? I was looking at lease deals because Electrek. They always have like top, and I'm just dancing around the idea of getting an EV. And 2025 is my year. I'm gonna call this.
You think you're gonna do it?
It's so hard to get rid of the Land Cruiser, though.
Yeah,
it's
that's
such
tough.
a cool truck.
It is a cool truck.
It's the opposite of an EV. It gets like 12 miles to the gallon, right? Thank God I only drive it. It's the opposite of an EV, which is why it's amazing. Like, you could drive over a curb in that thing and you don't even notice. It's like, and I don't drive over curbs a lot. But I know that it can if I wanted to.
But it can if you wanted it to.
But the Hyundais, like when you look at the lease deals, there's a lot of 159, 189 a month for the 5 and the 6.
Sure.
Even the Kia EV9 is like 329 a month with 339 down.
So
right?
silly.
It's
residual on those things are so high.
Maybe Kia makes it, or Hyundai make it on the list. But speaking of good EV lease deals,
whoa!
If we lived in Colorado,
we'd be running down.
This would have incentivized me. Who says driving an EV has to break the bank? A Fiat dealership in Colorado pulled off the seemingly impossible, a lease deal on a 2024 Fiat 500e that truly costs $0 down and $0 per month.
What?
It's a 27-month lease, 10,000 miles a year, and you have to pay state taxes. The only thing you have to pay. So if you got $1,300 to pay,
fancy.
You can drive that car 10,000 miles a year for the next 27 months for free. Larry H. Miller, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, Fiat in Denver moved 60 cars in 3 days. No surprise. Using over $15,000 in federal and state incentives plus factory discounts. They put it all together. David Gluckman of Car and Driver, he's the one that kind of like talked about the story. He leased one of the cars and commented on the challenges with such a unique agreement. He said, quote, "I was warned apologetically that there's a chance I might have to re-sign some of the paperwork because the dealer's computer system doesn't know how to handle a lease with zero payment."
Right.
Funny
no,
formality.
it doesn't.
Yeah, they still had to run a credit check for him to have the ability to not pay.
It's wild. Yeah. I mean, it's similar to like some of the systems not handling one-pay leases very well.
Yeah. Right.
So I know this is probably an issue. We talked about just a few weeks ago these Colorado incentives and how deep they are on the EVs. I'm just still shocked that a dealer, like, someone had to go in and start really, really hammering this thing, because nobody looks up the 27-month lease residuals and money factors.
They found it.
Pretty legit.
Well, I think, so federal incentive $7,500. I think the Colorado incentive is like $5,300.
Yep.
Right. There's probably a little cash from the factory. Right. So 15 grand in incentives, like 27-month lease, tiny little itty bitty car that you can flip over with 2 of your friends. I mean, it's actually
this is just fun.
I want
leave it to
so
dealers to figure out how to get a $0 down, $0 a month. Like, I can tell you there's no digital retailing program that's like, let me see.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can figure this out.
And I can tell you there's no Fiat dealer that isn't super ecstatic to move 50 Fiats.
Get 50 of those jokers out of here. Fiat's like, look at these guys. Give them a prize.
I always joke that Fiat is the Fiat showroom is where dealers use the space to they store their tax boxes like in that audit period in between January and March, because that's what the Fiat delership in Syracuse, whenever you walk through the showroom, I always see like 50 of those boxes sitting in there.
Yeah, the whole group's accounting boxes are just sitting there.
There's nobody in there. There's some like leather finish swatches that you can look at, but there ain't nobody in that Fiat dealership.
That's a mess.
New York. All right, well, look, last story of the year. So
yeah. It's not really a story. What it is us talking about all the stories. There's been a lot of stuff that happened inside and outside of auto this year. I don't know. We got a list together. There's a few that are my favorites. Maybe you can pick out your favorites.
Yep.
One of my favorites this year was the eclipse. I got to actually watch the eclipse with my family while I was at a David Kane conference. So at the same time, so it was like this mix of like auto and culture all happening.
Yeah.
There were literally the vendor 20 group was standing outside, and I was in between. Like Peter Fong was out there, and David Kane, and the car guys, and all of those people. That was a really fun one. And then I go back, and we haven't talked about this a lot, but the craziness around Fisker at the beginning of the year, when everybody was like, oh, they're going to NADA, they're bringing on dealers pre-NADA, they're talking to dealers at NADA, and then just whoosh, gonzo within just a couple months right there. Pretty wild there. Then I'm gonna steal this that More Than Cars getting on Prime Video and Tubi. Like, we've been talking about this. Actually, you and I talked about before I even left the dealership about almost 4 years ago now. I think we had a phone call about what would it look like to get a show on a network talking about car dealers. And we were both like, man, I don't know if that could ever happen. Boom.
I forgot about that. And here it is. And it's only getting better. It's only getting better. We filmed 3 episodes for season 2 already, which is one of my high points of the year. The fact that we already filmed 3 and it feels like we got a little rhythm, and they're getting better by the episode, right? We're getting better at making them. The stories are getting better and deeper. So yeah, that is an amazing one. I loved having Will Guidara speak at a SotoCon, and the moment we surprised him on stage. That was one of my most
memorable that was so good.
2024, when we hid his best friend in a box on the stage, and he popped out and surprised him and iced him, gave him a Smirnoff Ice, and he had to drink it on stage, and he said, don't film this. And then he got down on one knee like he was about to propose to it, and he just done that thing in about 6 seconds. A lot of other things happened, and like you mentioned the eclipse, and it's easy to forget that. Obviously we had some serious stuff happen. The CDK hack was a major deal that we watched the auto industry just band together and figure out a way to get it done. And even like with all the heat that CDK took from that, there are some people that were really leaning on them and throwing down. I was really encouraged to see how the overall tone of the industry, though, wasn't like, let's slam them, right? It was like, hey, like, there are things we need to fix. There are things that this is highlighting. So that, I thought that was a good time for the industry to actually come together. We obviously had, remember the election? It was an election year, and it was a crazy election year, but certainly not the craziest election year we've seen.
No, definitely not.
Right. It was like, actually, it was a kind of a relief.
It was fairly docile. I was kind of surprised.
Yeah. I mean, nothing burned. Let's put it that way. Remember the Baltimore Bridge accident?
Oh,
that boat.
Yeah.
Right. It was right before SotoCon. We're like, is this going to like.
Yeah. Right before SotoCon. You're right. It was like kind of shocking, unexpected part of the year. But, looking back, you just kind of forget about these things that had a massive impact on like supply chain and the way that.
Yeah. Remember all the talk about like, it was like, was it even a blip?
Right.
Like from a consumer standpoint?
Yeah, I think
so. One thing we can learn this year and from the last 3 years going into next year is the fact that news by nature is incentivized to be sensational.
Yep.
And the more we can step out of that, and I think this is the perfect industry for it, and our community is the perfect group of people for it, the more we can step out of that and understand like the people to your right and your left, when you're kind of like making eye contact, you're like, we're going to be fine through this. Like we got each other's back. I think this is just another year that the auto industry has done that. It's been a source of stability in our country's economy. It's been a source of stability in communities. It's been a source of stability. Like I feel like the Asoto community, not Kyle and I and Nate and the crew, not us, but all of the people that kind of call More Than Cars home. are a source of stability within this industry. That's a source of stability. I'm going to claim that for the people.
I agree. I think other dealers, and if you're a part of this community, if you're listening to the show every single day, you're a part of a community that a lot of other dealers, a lot of industry partners, tech partners, even people outside of the industry are starting to take notice of what we're doing. So keep up the good work. Be that cornerstone of community, both for your people, the people that are customers, and community outside. And I think the auto industry has a big thing in store for it over the next few years.
I do too. I think we would be remiss if we did not just, I'm going to actually play this music. I think we'd be remiss if we did not just thank, first and foremost, all of the people, all of our team on the Asoto crew, who work behind the scenes every single day, who build the shows and write the emails and coordinate with our partners and work on the events and book the venues and plan the things. Like, this team
is amazing.
You don't understand how hard this scrappy entrepreneurial team works to make sure you have a little hook to hang something on every day. So want to thank the team. Also, we need to thank our collaborators, our sponsors. We are a media company, so none of this happens without the companies and the industry partners who say, we believe in this mission. We're going to step up next to you. We're going to support it. We want to be a part of the action. Right. We want to be a part of the good things happening in the industry. Kyle, who else are we thanking? I just took most of it.
I mean, we're thanking all of the dealers and the industry partners that have shared and given wisdom this year to us and to others in the industry, like the selflessness by which this community approaches giving back both to each other and to their communities. That's a big deal for me because it's not something that I think our industry has been known for historically, but it's just become an open book.
That's right. And I think we need to thank, I know we're going to forget somebody. I shouldn't have done this without notes, but I want to thank Mike Stan from NADA and all the dealer association presidents and CEOs and executive leaders who have partnered with us this year, have allowed us to be a part of their world, have become a part of our world. And I think fully understanding that this is a way that we can band together in a more meaningful way this year and next year. We're going to be in Washington, D.C. in January.
Yeah. We got to thank Damon Lester, Perry Watson, for the entire NAMAD community, the WOCAN community for shouldering up with us at AsotoCon at NAMAD, inviting us in, allowing us to share your story and creating incredible stories.
And last but not least, thank you to all the people out there on the front lines every day, day in and day out. You are the reason that Asoto More Than Cars exists. You're the reason that the difference is being made. So get out there, have a great new year. We'll see you next year.